There are two kinds of Filipino Dota players. Those that have played on Execration and... one second. You know what? Actually, there's just one kind. There's just one kind. Palos is, well, a Filipino Dota player, and he is currently playing as the carry for Execration. Let's take a look at his competitive history. Palos' history as a competitive Dota player is like someone's first fling during university. At first, you just hook up, and it means nothing. Then you try dating for a bit because you like each other, and it should work out, right? But they change, and you aren't ready for that yet. So it doesn't work out. So you try seeing other people. But this only makes you realize that you miss her, and maybe you are ready for change too. So you go back to her, and you give it a very good try. But it doesn't work out. This time, you're really hurt. You put your feelings on the line, and she crushed them. So you try to find someone similar, a rebound, if you will. The rebound fades, and you have an epiphany that your original fling was the one all along. And here you are, 3 years later, convinced that this will be the good one, that you're not going to break up this time. In case my analogy wasn't clear enough, Palos is you, and Execration is your partner. Sorry for digging up painful memories. Palos' stint in competitive Dota started as a stand-in/tryout for Execration. He played in a couple of joint Dota League matches with them, and in one tournament called ANG Game, China vs. C. After a couple of months, they parted ways. This was an incredibly valuable experience for Palos, as he got to play with some of the emerging players at the time, like Carl. He also got to play with Kimo, one of the veterans of the Filipino Dota scene. After Execration, he got scouted by one of the bigger Tier 2 Filipino orgs at the time, Sterling Global Dragons, and competed in many national tournaments with them, sometimes rebranded as Smart Omega. During this time, he would also get the chance to play with Januel, another emerging player. After this, he went back to Execration, this time as a mid player. Now he got the chance to play with Nando, the biggest veteran carry of the Filipino scene. Unfortunately, this squad did not work out, and Nando left after 3 months. Palos would remain in the team and become its new carry. Since this was the COVID era, Palos did not get a chance to play any lands. He did, however, manage to gather a massive slew of experience with tons of online cups, something that would really help him grow. Unfortunately, this was not enough for Execration, and he left the team again in late 2020, before the start of the DPC. He joined a new team called Vice Esports, together with his old mid laner from Sterling Global Dragons, Bob. Vice managed to qualify to the upper division in the first season of SCA DPC, but they were destroyed, only winning a single series against their fellow Pinoy team, Execration. Palos felt bad about that victory, so he decided to rejoin Execration once again, leaving his old teammates behind. They stayed in lower division with okay results, while Palos got to stay in upper division. This time though, things changed. Palos truly connected with the roster of Execration, and they were able to qualify to the wildcard stages of the Anime Major. In the Anime Major, they performed pretty well, actually, managing to tie against every single team except for Nigma, who later proved to be the most dominant team of the wildcard stages. They exceeded everyone's expectations, even if they were unable to qualify for the main event. Palos and Execration were unable to qualify for TI-10, but he stuck with the team for a while until late 2021 when Neon offered him a spot. At first, he thought he'd be playing with an old friend, Januel, but he was taken by Fnatic before the DPC started. Neon Esports had completely rebuilt their team, and this new iteration featured Palos as the main carry. This Neon was hoping to find a lot of hidden gems, acquiring diamonds in the rough like Mamang Daya and Hasna. Unfortunately, Neon's run in Division 1 was not as successful as they had hoped. They barely managed to avoid relegation through tiebreakers and had a lackluster performance overall. Neon started to bleed players, and little by little, the roster got reformed. Palos was actually the last one to leave, but he had to. I mean, there was another org that required his services. You know who they are, right? Execration! Of course, it was always Execration. Palos joined the team as a carry and played once again with one of his first teammates, Bob, from Sterling Global Dragons. Awesome, right? Palos back to Execration, everything is good in the world. Except, you know, their results. They, alongside Neon Esports, dropped from Division 1, only winning a single series. In Division 2, though, they flourished. It seems like Execration was in that liminal state where they were not good enough for Division 1, but too good for Division 2. This time, though, Execration decided to play the long game. They replaced only a single player on December 10th, Vincenzo for BDZ, and even hired March as a coach. The recent results from this team look really good. Granted, it's the off-season, but Palos is coming into the DPC hot after winning a BTS Pro Series. This is the longest that Palos has ever stayed on a team. He now comes with solid competitive experience, maturity, and has improved massively since his initial DPC performance. We will see this year if he is able to make this relationship work, or if he will end up finding a hotter new team.